Some white European men, after spending several weeks in the welcoming village of Umuchukwu, prepared to depart. The villagers gathered at the shore to bid them farewell, exchanging final gifts and heartfelt goodbyes. The air was filled with a mix of excitement and sadness as the explorers made their way to the large ship anchored off the coast. Emeka, a young boy with an adventurous spirit and a deep admiration for the visitors, watched the scene unfold with longing in his eyes. He had spent countless hours listening to the stories of the European men and playing with their curious gadgets. He couldn't bear the thought of them leaving without him. Determined to join them on their journey, Emeka devised a plan. He knew his father, Ezenta, would never allow him to go, so he had to act quickly and quietly. As the villagers were preoccupied with the farewells, Emeka and his little loyal puppy dog slipped away from the crowd. They stealthily made their way to the ship, hiding behind crates and barrels. Emeka had observed the sailors loading supplies and had identified a spot where he and his dog could hide. With a deep breath, he seized the moment and climbed aboard, his heart pounding with a mix of fear and excitement. He found a secluded corner below deck, where he and little puppy huddled together, hoping to remain unnoticed. The ship's horn blared, signaling the final departure. The villagers waved as the ship slowly pulled away from the shore. Ezenta stood among them, unaware that his son was no longer by his side. As the ship sailed further from the coast, Emeka felt a pang of homesickness but was also filled with anticipation for the adventure ahead. Days passed, and Emeka and dog remained hidden, surviving on the small amount of food and water Emeka had brought with him. He listened to the footsteps and voices above, waiting for the right moment to reveal himself. One evening, the crew gathered on deck for dinner, giving Emeka a chance to sneak out and find more food. He moved silently, carefully avoiding detection. However, as he reached for a loaf of bread, he accidentally knocked over a tin cup. The clattering sound echoed through the ship, and Emeka's heart sank as he heard footsteps approaching. A crew member, lantern in hand, descended the steps and spotted Emeka. "A captain. We have a stowaway," he called out, his voice a mix of surprise and concern. Captain Wallace, a tall man with a kind face, hurried down to see what the commotion was about. When he saw the young boy and his dog, he approached them with a gentle demeanor. What's your name, lad?" he asked softly. Emeka," the boy replied, his voice trembling. "I am Ezenta's youngest son from Umuchukwu. I wanted to see your country and learn more about your people." Captain Wallace took a deep breath, understanding the boy's curiosity and bravery. He gathered the crew and the explorers for a meeting to decide what to do. After much discussion, they agreed to let Emeka and his dog stay on board. They would ensure the boy's safety and find a way to contact his family once they reached Europe. From that day forward, Emeka and little puppy dog became an integral part of the ship's community. The crew taught him about navigation, the sea, and their homeland, while Emeka shared stories of Umuchukwu and his people. The bond between them grew stronger with each passing day. When the ship finally docked in Europe, Emeka was in awe of the bustling port and the grand buildings. Captain Wallace kept his promise and arranged for Emeka to stay with his family, ensuring he received a proper education and care. Emeka wrote letters to his family back in Umuchukwu, telling them of his adventures and reassuring them of his safety. Years passed, and Emeka grew into a well-educated young man, bridging the gap between two cultures. He became a symbol of friendship and understanding between the Europeans and the people of Umuchukwu. Moral of the story: embracing curiosity and the desire to learn about different cultures can lead to mutual understanding and lasting bonds. True hospitality and kindness transcend borders, and the willingness to accept and nurture a stranger can lead to positive and meaningful connections.